Hello.
We'd like to apologize for that audioless third quarter, but I think we have it resolved. We can now hear ourselves, and I believe now we are live cooking and good to go.
I can hear it. We are good.
We are good. Thank you to those of you that stayed and watched the third quarter, even though there was no audio. We will get back to live play-by-play in just a second, but just a few things to straighten out first is I have to figure out how uh, to reset it ourselves. So right now we are at a 63-43 lead for the PCC Panthers. Whistle and a travel is going to be called against PCC. So
The Saints will be inbounding here. Lewis will bring up the ball. And now the Hoyleman will bring up the ball.
we would like to also apologize to the lady. She didn't get a full game, as now we probably will have the audio problem fixed and we will get through the whole men's game without any issues. So again, apologies for those of you that were expecting to hear us for the second half, but you can go back and listen to the first half as well. We had audio in the first half on the stream. We just didn't have audio in our headset.
So probably not the best commentating, but it'll be all right.
And the third quarter, and I don't think anything recorded in the third quarter. I was maybe gonna go see, maybe I can
I hope not.
go back and relook. But I mean, we didn't provide a lot of commentary in the third quarter anyway. Once we found out the audio was not good, but now we can hear ourselves in the headphones, and you guys can hear us on the stream. So now back to the action as free throws coming from Burns as she hits that one. So now it's a 64-43 lead for the Panthers with just over 8.5 minutes to go here in the game.
Harris Burns, a 70% free throw shooter on the season. Very, very solid.
And she made both of them as now Hoyleman brings it back up the floor for the Saints. As now she'll wait at the top of the logo, get it over to Knutson, gets it back over to Hoyleman, gets it back over to Johnson now. Johnson gets it over to Hoyleman. Hoyleman back over to Johnson. Johnson now, we got a whistle. She put the shot in, but I do not believe it counts. And the foul there is going to go against Gunnell. So now it'll be an inbound from underneath the basket. As now Johnson will float a pass in, gets it into Hoyleman, puts up that contested shot, can't put it in. It's tipped out of play and possession to PCC.
Hustle there, almost by Hoyleman, but just gets away from her.
So both these teams, I guess one of these teams comes into this game off a loss. PCC lost to Lynn Benton on Saturday. Mount Hood has not played in 12 days. They last played in double overtime against Clark a couple of Wednesdays ago. They won that game by a final of 89-86 with Mackenzie Kosmicki hitting the game-winning three with just over 2 seconds remaining. As now Hoyleman brings it back up the floor for the Saints. As now she crosses and gets a pass over to Johnson. Johnson gets it into Meek. Meek gets it back to Hoyleman. Hoyleman fakes, now gets it back to Johnson. Johnson on that right side gets it back to Hoyleman. Over now Knutson, back over Meek. Gets it inside. It's intercepted, and now we got a whistle, and we have a foul, and it's going to go against Burns. So now it'll be Johnson to inbound it. With just under 8 minutes remaining here, 65-43 in favor of the Panthers as Hoyleman dribbles it to the inside, gets it back out. Meek gets it over to Knutson. Knutson gets it over now is Hoyleman, who takes a three and hits it!
Nice shot there.
Hoyleman keeps the Saints' confidence alive here. Pulls it back to within 20 with 7.5 to go. Here come the Panthers now. Here's Gunnell. Gets it back now to Burns. Burns moves to the inside, puts it up. No, it passes over to Gunnell. Can't put the shot up, but she is fouled, and she will go to the free throw line. So the foul actually occurred on Hicks, so she will be the one shooting. As now looks like Patterson going to be coming into the game for Meek. As we get set for the men's game coming up in just a little while here. They are taking on the same PCC team. And that should be a fun matchup. First free throw was good. So now here's the second free throw on the way from Hickson. It is good as well. She made both. As now Knudsen will inbound it. She gets it into Hoyleman. Hoyleman now crosses. Now looks for a pass. Gets it over now. Kosmicki to Johnson for three. No. Rebounded by the Panthers. As now it will be Jeffries. Guarded. It's intercepted. Johnson inside the lane. Tries to put up the shot and now is going to be called for the charge. And the offensive foul is going to give the ball back to PCC, and Coach Brown does not like the call. You can see him in disbelief in front of us. So now the officials discussing, and it looks like we might be taking a timeout here as the officials take a moment to discuss things. Both teams go back to their benches to regroup with 7:01 to go here in the fourth quarter and a 67-45 lead for PCC.
It's a tough game here for the Saints so far. They've been struggling to find a rhythm throughout the whole game, similar to us. Can't find a rhythm with the audio here, but now it seems like just in the nick of time we've found it.
You know what? This is technically a makeup game, so we're going to make up the audio as well. So
That's a
not
bright
everything
spot.
can be perfect. But
Right way of thinking of it. Half glass, or yeah,
glass half full.
glass half full. Yeah.
You know. So we appreciate those of you that stuck with us during the audio-less third quarter. And thankfully, we still were able to record audio in the first half, even though we could not hear ourselves. But now we can hear ourselves, and the audio is fine. So problem fixed, and hopefully we should have a smooth rest of the night. I'm looking forward to that men's game. Not saying that this one hasn't been.
No, this one's been good. There's been a lot of definitely a lot of aggressiveness from both teams. Competitive drive.
It's just that PCC up 22 points with just about 7 minutes to go. You might think that this game is over. So.
Sure, but the combination of just a few unlucky bounces not going their way and a few unlucky calls just led to this unsustainable or difficult spot to come back from.
So now here's a tie-up. It's a jump ball. And now possession, I believe, is going to favor Mount Hood as we get our third jump ball of the game. I guess we get a foul. So the foul there against Mount Hood is going to be giving the possession back to PCC. As now we got Jeffries inbounding from in front of us. As now she is going to float a pass in. She gets it into Gannell, who gets it over. And now here is Fortin. Fortin moves to the inside, puts up the shot. No good. Rebounded by herself. And now she floats a pass looking over to Gannell. Gannell gets it back over to Burns. Burns with a pass back over to Fortin. Fortin back over now. Burns. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Gets it back. Guarded by Knudsen. Loses the ball. Gets it back. 5 seconds to shoot. Here's Burns. Loses it. Intercepted. Here come the Saints. Johnson over to Hoyleman. Hoyleman now dribbles. Now gets it back. Kosmicki. Kosmicki over now. Johnson in the corner. Looks for somebody. Gets it to Hoyleman. Hoyleman thought about a three. Didn't take it. Back over to Johnson. Johnson. 13 on the shot clock. Hoyleman. Three. Corner. No. Rebounded by the Panthers. And here is now it is Hicks. As she floats a pass to Burns. Burns now gets it over to Jeffries. Jeffries looking, almost stolen by Knudsen. Gets it back over to Burns. Burns with the pass to the inside. Now we get a whistle and we got a foul. So now we have a timeout here with 5:50 to go in the game and a 67-45 lead for the PCC Panthers. What's been the biggest strength for both these teams in the second half?
I'd say the strength for PCC has been their defense, kind of just forcing turnovers, being aggressive on offense, and honestly, their pace has been hard to keep up with. For Mount Hood, the third they were playing well. Made a lot of shots, made a lot more shots than they were in the second and first, but went back to kind of just not taking advantage of opportunities and a few calls not going their way.
So now with just under 6 minutes remaining in this game, PCC with a 22-point lead. The Saints, who had won 2 games in a row in intense fashion too, kind of back to the rhythm of losing games by big amounts. But nonetheless, they still have 3 more games after tonight. They have a game Wednesday against Clackamas. It's on the road. And then they have a rescheduled home game Friday night against Umpqua. And then Saturday, they end the season against the Lane Titans. So Lane, who actually suffered their first loss against Clackamas a week ago, no longer unbeaten. So a little bit of confidence that Mount Hood can take into that Saturday game.
Yeah, coming back from a little bit of a break here from this winter storm, always a little rust. So hopefully that's all it is, and they can get back to their winning ways.
The Panthers now just with 1 game remaining, and it will be 1 week from Saturday. Or it will be Saturday, I'm sorry, against the Southwest Oregon Lakers. So they have just 1 game remaining. They don't have a game on Wednesday. And with the what it looks like, what will be a win for them tonight will improve them to 9-16. And with a loss tonight, the Saints will go to 9-14. So both teams will have the same amount of wins. It'll just be PCC with that extra loss, considering Mount Hood had 2 games that were postponed due to that snowstorm, and PCC was able to play their game on Saturday. So those are the schedules. The last time these 2 teams played, it was a 56-48 PCC win. So it looks like they will try to complete the season sweep against Mount Hood. They won back on January 25th, so just over a month later, they come into Gresham and looks like get a handling win, unless the Saints can really start something here in the final 550. So after a long discussion from the officials, it has been determined that it is Marley Johnson who's going to be called for the common foul. So no warrant for an ejection there, as we really weren't understanding what the discussion was about. It will be PCC basketball with just under 6 to go here in this game. Sophomore night here for the Saints, although technically not sophomore night because they have 1 more home game. So now here's Burns. Burns motions to her team, gets a pass back out now as Fortin gets it over to Gunnell. Back over now is Burns, fakes the pass, gets it back over to Gunnell. 9 seconds on the shot clock, gets it back to Fortin. Fortin moves inside, puts up a jumper, and puts it in. So that's a 24-point PCC lead, 69-45, 5:27 to go. Here's Hoyleman. Hoyleman looks for somebody to get it to, and she floats a pass over, is now Patterson, gets it to Kosmicki. Kosmicki floats a pass into the lane and can't put the shot up and in. And it's rebounded by PCC, and here comes Burns the other way. So now here is Burns. Floats a pass back over to Fortin. Fortin looking, gets a pass back out, Gunnell. Gunnell over to Burns. Burns now backs up, guarded by Knutson. 12 seconds on the shot clock. Moves to the inside, puts up the floater. Off the iron, no good. Rebounded by Patterson. Gets it over to Johnson. Gets it over to Kosmicki. Kosmicki tipped, recontrolled by Patterson. Patterson looking, gets it back out Knutson. Over to Hoyleman. Hoyleman back Kosmicki. Over now is Johnson. Johnson floats it up and floats it off. It just wouldn't go. Oh man, that rim was just toying with the shot there. There is a foul though, so Johnson will shoot free throws. Try to put the Saints a little bit closer here with 4:37 remaining in the game.
So there will be no media timeout now because of the monitor review.
As you heard from umpire Rene Farron, first free throw was no good. And second free throw on the way from Johnson is good. So that pulls the Saints back to within 23. 69-46 now. PCC with the lead, 4.5 minutes to go. As now Gunnell brings it back up, gets it over to Fortin with a pass now into Powers. Powers floats it off the iron, no good, and rebounded, and possession back to Mount Hood. So Hoyleman now will inbound it. Gets it into Knutson, back to Hoyleman. Hoyleman now looks. Floats a pass over to Johnson. Over now is Kosmicki. Kosmicki back over to Hoyleman. Hoyleman gets it back to Johnson for three. It's good!
Nice look there for Johnson. That's a shot in the corner there.
Late rush here by the Saints. Back to within 20. 69-49, 4 to go. Here come the Panthers. Dribbling it quickly now as Burns gets it to the inside. Floats up a pass. It's no good. And now an offensive foul is going to be called against PCC. And Mount Hood retains possession. They just got to keep hitting shots like that, Jake, in the final 4 minutes.
That's right. They got to have like a little bit of a Damian Lillard-like night here in the second half.
71 points is a little bit hard to do in community college basketball. I'm not really sure who leads the way tonight, but I'm sure she doesn't have 71 points.
No, that's hard to do at any level of basketball.
I'm certain you couldn't get 71 points, except when you're playing me, of course.
Or maybe my little baby sister, but she's 4. We play a mini hoop sometimes. Oh, no, she's not 4. She's 6. Sorry.
You just post up against her?
No, I don't even do that. It's dunk every time.
First free throw on the way is good. So the foul there is now Burns is shooting free throws at the line. Thought it was an offensive foul, but I guess it was a foul against the Saints. Made them both. PCC back up 22. Here's Hoyleman. Brings it up the floor. Gets it over now to Johnson. Back to the birthday girl. Back over to Knutson. Gets it back now. Here's Johnson inside underneath. Puts up the shot. Can't put it in, but a foul.
Great shot there. Hopefully knock these down here. Great way to draw the foul.
So now here is Johnson with her first free throw is good. And now it is a 21-point game. And speaking of 21, that's how old Kylie turned today. So again, wishing her a happy birthday. Johnson's second free throw is good. And now it is a 20-point game with 3:41 to go. 71-51 now in favor of PCC. Inbound pass will come from Powers. As Powers floats a pass in, gets it into Gunnell. Back over to Powers. Powers looking, gets a pass over to Gunnell. Back across now to Powers. Long pass over to Burns. Burns now dribbles it, gets it to the inside. Here is the floater, no good. Rebounded by the Saints, and here it comes Kennard. Kennard moves across the court, now backs up on that logo. Gets it over now Johnson, over to Hoyleman. Gonna take a three, and that one's no good. And the rebound goes out of play. Possession to PCC.
Hoyleman just firing away tonight. I like it. She started off pretty well, good in the second quarter there, but
I'm sure her birthday wish was to get a win, but just doesn't look that way with 3 minutes to go, down by 20.
Playing solid herself, something to be proud of, not giving up.
So McRae is going to be called for the foul, and it'll send Burns to the line with 3:09 to go here in the fourth quarter, and a 71-51 PCC lead that is now extended to 72. Mount Hood, who has just scored an average of 58 points a game, sitting at 51 right now. As for PCC, they score an average of 54 points a game. They're 18 above that. Offensive rebound keeps things alive for the Panthers. Here's Burns. Dribbles it back to the outside. Now looks. Gets a pass back over to Fortin. Gets it to the inside. Powers floats it, and no good. Rebounded by Hoyleman as she brings it up the floor. Hoyleman motioning and yelling to her teammates. Gets it across now Johnson. Johnson on the right wing, gets it to Kennard. Kennard, a three. No, rebounded by McRae. Puts up the shot.
Wow.
And one.
Nice putback there. Great second effort. They needed that. And the bench is going nuts. Their morale is still high, regardless of the score.
One of 5 sophomores, Jackie McCray, puts up that contested shot and gets an additional free throw. First on the way, and it's good.
McCray has made all of her free throws thus far this season.
And now it's turned over.
A
And
steal.
now McCray gets it over to Kosmicki, back over to Johnson.
Sweet.
Late search here by the Saints. Do they have enough time? 2.5 minutes to go. They're still down by 20. And now whistle, and we got another foul. And the foul there is going to go against Haas. So now it'll send Kosmicki to the line. So the Saints trying to make a little bit of a push here. It's an 18-point game with 2.5 to go. And now it's a 17-point game.
Still very positive energy here. Energy very, very positive from the bench.
Kosmicki, who hit the game winner in their final game, makes both, or in their last game, makes both free throws there, as now Mount Hood pulls back to within 16 with 2:22 to go. Here's a wide open pass, and now the shot no good, but a foul, as it was Hicks who tried to put that shot up, and it's Marley Johnson who's going to be called for the foul, and it's going to send Katie to the line.
It's just been a tough go tonight for the Saints from the referees. They just haven't given them a break.
Free throw up and good, and the lead is back to 17 for PCC. Sure, this PCC win will make someone happy. Not naming any names next to me, although he doesn't. You don't play for either basketball team.
No,
so.
I don't, and I actually have found myself cheering for the Saints tonight because I've been committed to their basketball season a bit more. But
Yeah, well, we appreciate you being here all season for the home games, and it's been fun to do these with you. Here's Kennard. Kennard now gets it back across. Now it's tipped, and McCray is going to get it. It was tipped, so there is no backcourt violation. McCray gets it back over to Johnson. Gets it back over now Kosmicki. Dribbles inside the lane, loses possession, floats it back out McCray. McCray going to take a three, and she got it! Bouncing around, it falls in, and it's back to within 15 with 1:45 to go and a timeout. So no timeout, I guess it was a foul. So the foul there is going to go against Mount Hood. It's going to send Gunnell to the line with just over 100 seconds remaining. Saints still down by 15, but even if they take the L tonight, you got to think this confidence boost at the end of this game is going to help them in their Clackamas game on Wednesday.
that's absolutely right. Their energy's very good right now. They just need to carry that over to the next game and understand that this was just a bit of a rusty game for them.
Johnson with a three. A little bit of a late search here by the
11
Saints.
points.
90 seconds to go. It's back to within 13.
Good defense.
Now a shot
Wow,
floated
that's
up and
ridiculous.
in
That's ridiculous.
with a foul. Coach Brown and Coach Higgins not liking the call there from the officials. Free throw was no good.
Ball don't lie.
Hoylman gets it back. Here's Kennard.
Journey's got to shoot it. Come on.
Kennard gets it back over to McCray. McCray to Johnson. Another three.
Johnson.
No rebound. It tipped and into the hands of McCray, but she lost it. It's a jump ball. Possession to Mount Hood. It's a 15-point game with 72 seconds to go.
A three would be nice here.
We could see crazier things happen. We saw a double overtime game last time we were here.
That's true. That was incredible.
Here's Johnson. Floats it pass to Kosmicki. Kosmicki loses it. Gets it back over to McCray. McCray looking. McCray inside the lane. Puts up the shot. It's no good. Rebounded by Hicks. Gets it over to Gunnell. Gunnell looking. Now gets it over to Fortin. Fortin with under a minute to go. PCC looking at a win here as the shot floated in. Saints now just playing for a little bit better score with 47 seconds and counting. Gets it back over. Now here's Kosmicki. Kosmicki gets it back over to Kennard. Kennard gets it back over. Here's Hoyleman, dribbles it to the inside, and she puts up the shot. It's off the iron, no good. Rebounded by PCC, lost out of bounds, but it goes back into the possession of the Panthers. Shot clock and game clock are about 5 seconds apart. So PCC with a win tonight will improve to 9-16. Mount Hood with the loss will drop to 9-14. Still have another makeup game against Umpqua here on Friday. As now here is Fortin. Gets it back across to Gunnell. Gunnell gets it back across. Fortin over to Haas. Haas to the inside. Now is Hicks. Floats the shot up. It's no good. And it's rebounded by Johnson, who lost it. Back into the hands of McCray. Whistle, and we got a timeout called by Coach Brown. With just 4 seconds remaining, Mount Hood down by 17. What is the biggest thing for Mount Hood going into their game Wednesday against Clackamas?
They're just going to need to kind of, you can see the difference between how they're playing now and how they started the game. Big confidence booster. They just need to take advantage of the looks that they get. They're very capable. Marley Johnson making a lot of shots here in the fourth quarter late. Journey struggling tonight, but still a very skilled player. Probably their one of top 2 or 3 players on the team needs to play better in order for them to hopefully come out with a win.
PCC will not play another game for 5 days. They have a game against Southwest Oregon on Saturday. You were not here, but we saw that Southwest Oregon team on Super Sunday. That game came down to the wire. It was close. We know that they can play well. We know this PCC team plays well. That should be an interesting matchup on Saturday. So now 4 seconds remaining. Johnson will inbound. As now it looks like they'll just try to melt the 4 seconds and move on to their game on Wednesday after a 12-day hiatus due to the snow. I think Coach Brown might want to blame this loss on the snow. Into Hoyleman. Now holds. Gets it to McCray. McCray one final shot. It's no good.
Good
and
look.
that will do it.
Well drawn up.
The PCC Panthers complete the season sweep against Mount Hood as they come into Gresham tonight and get a 79-62 win here on this Makeup Monday night. And Jake, definitely not a bad game to lose for the Saints. They still have 3 more, still trying to make a playoff push. Both these teams now have the same win record, or same amount of wins. So it really comes down to the final game for PCC against Southwest Oregon on Saturday. Because remember, PCC only has 1 game remaining. Mount Hood still has 3. So that's kind of still that big advantage.
All Mount Hood needs to do is win 2 of those, and they're pretty much guaranteed. Or no. If
we will have to see what the playoff scenario is. We don't really quite know what it is yet.
to edge out PCC, at least they need to get at least 1 more win than them.
We'll be checking in with that position as we go forward down the stretch. But final score here, it is a 79-62 win for the PCC Panthers. I mean, it was still a fun game, Jake. Well, Jake has taken off his headset, so I guess we are going to get set for the men as they are coming up next as we get set for that one. That will be a second stream. Again, apologies for that audio-less third quarter. We hope for no issues during the men's game. So, any final thoughts?
I'm just looking forward to this men's game. Excited that we got our audio working now and ready to get into it.
Well, that'll do it. We'll be back in just a few moments for game 2.